Hello everyone, this is part 1 video on past year NEET questions from the chapter hydrocarbons. We will start with a question that has come in the year 2019. An alkene A on reaction with O3 and ZnH2O. So any alkene, when it is reacting with O3, it will be forming the ozonide complex, and on treatment with zinc water, it is basically the reduction step that will happen after it. So it's basically reductive ozonolysis. It gives propanone and ethanol. So reductive ozonolysis of alkenes, it will give us aldehydes or ketones depending upon where the double bond is present. So the alkene is giving propanone and ethanol in equimolar ratio, means same whatever the number of moles of propanone getting formed, same number of moles of ethanol is also getting formed. Means wherever the alkene is getting the double bond is getting broken to give rise to the carbonyl group. So we have exactly on one side the propanone getting formed and the other side ethanol getting formed. Addition of HCl to the alkene A gives B as major product. We need to find what is the structure of the product B. So definitely the alkene A will have a double bond, and to that, when we are adding HCl, we have to look at the Markovnikov rule, and the Markovnikov rule is going to give us what is the major product. So first step is what we need to find what is this alkene. So generally if you look at the alkene, right, so we are focusing on just the double bond position. So on the formation of the ozonoid complex, so this is how the ozonoid complex is going to look like, and after the ozonoid complex is dissociated with zinc water, on one side you will have one carbonyl compound being formed, it may be aldehyde or ketone. On other side you will have the other carbonyl compound being formed. Now if you look at how these carbonyl compounds will look, it is how this will look like. Okay, so the same whatever the carbons which are having the double bond position previously, those carbons are now going to become the carbonyl carbon atoms. Now the question is, they are giving us these two. One is what? Propanone, and the other one is ethanol. So one is a propanol, other one is ethanol. Now how do we go back and find out what is the original alkene? So the method to find out the original alkene is, we first have to arrange both the carbonyl compounds in such a way that, this is a standard approach. We first have to arrange both the carbonyl compounds in such a way that the carbonyl atoms along with oxygen, they are facing each other. The carbonyl atoms along with oxygen are facing each other. Then what we will do is, we simply have to remove both these oxygens and form a double bond between these two carbons. Clear with the step? So how do we find out what is the original alkene in case of the reductive ozonolysis? We first arrange both the products in such a way that the carbonyl carbons are facing each other with the oxygens. Okay. Now we have to remove these oxygens and form a double bond between these two carbons. That is going to be our original alkene. So if you are clear with this step, then I'll just rub this area, and then we will be able to work out to find out what is the original alkene. So here what are the carbonyl compounds coming as products? One is propanone. Propanone is the IUPAC name for acetone. Propanone is what? IUPAC name for the acetone. Okay. Other one is the ethanol. So ethanol means what? So let's see how we will write it. So ethanol is basically CH3 CHO. This is ethanol. And propanone, CH3 CO CH3. Propanone can be also called as what? Acetone. Acetone is the common name for the propanone. This is ethanol. Okay. Now we have arranged the carbonyl carbons in such a way that both the carbons are facing each other along with the oxygen. Now here we see how do we get back what is the original alkene. Remove both these oxygens and form a double bond. So look at this, CH3 CH double bond C CH3 CH3. This is the original alkene. This is the original alkene. Okay, and to this alkene, this is the compound A basically. To this, when we are adding HCl, so HCl will be added. This is the typical case of the electrophilic addition. So hydrogen will go to the Markovnikov rule is what? Hydrogen will go to the carbon that is already having. So here we have carbon 1. Let's just number them 1 and 2. Hydrogen goes to carbon. I mean the thumb rule to look at the products of the Markovnikov addition is what? Whenever we are adding HX, hydrogen goes to carbon that is already having more number of hydrogens. Rich gets richer. Okay, that is the a common way of remembering it. So here the carbon 1 is having 1 hydrogen directly attached to it. Carbon 2 is having no hydrogen attached to it. Means the hydrogen is going to go here. So this is where the hydrogen comes, and the other Cl will come to the carbon 2. So as a result, what we are going to have, you can just check. If hydrogen comes here, then what will be forming is I'll just write it down here: CH3, CH2, C. This will get a chlorine. This is the compound. This is the compound B basically. Okay. So if you look at these options, right, which of the options is actually giving the compound B? We can see option D. Option D is giving what? CH3, CH2, C, chlorine, CH3, CH3. So this is the correct answer. So here in this problem, right, we are having two concepts involved. One is the ozonolysis, and second is the reductive ozonolysis, and second is the Markovnikov addition. Okay. Next we have another question that has come in the same 2019 NEET paper. The most suitable reagent for the following conversion is an alkyne, okay, is undergoing hydrogenation. So what is happening? It is getting converted to alkene, means what? It is undergoing hydrogenation, and this is giving cis alkene. So they are asking what is the most suitable reagent. If you look at the reagents, right, what are the reagents? All these reagents are going to give us the hydrogenation. One is what? The Hg2 plus Hg in the presence of water. Basically, the mercury salt in acid medium, that will be also able to give the hydrogenation, but this is in the liquid medium. Sodium in liquid ammonia, liquid medium. H2 in the presence of paradise charcoal and quinoline. So this is what we call as the Lindlar catalyst. So Lindlar catalyst will have a mechanism where there will be this metal surface. So paradise charcoal metal surface, and to this metal surface the alkyne will get adsorbed, and the hydrogens will be getting added from the same side, because if one side there is a metal surface, there is only one other side remaining, that is we can say above the metal. So both the hydrogens are going to come and add from the same side. So as a result of it, right, since this mechanism is happening on the surface of the metal, the reaction is happening on the surface of metal, to the alkyne, right, if you look at the alkyne, the hydrogens are going to come and attach from the same side, because this side what is there? This side there is a metal. Which means as a result of it, right, what we are going to be having is, in the final compound, if you see, right, the hydrogens will be on same side, and the other groups will end up being also on the same side, which means this is giving us what? This will give us typically the cis form of the alkene. So the one that is correct is the Lindlar catalyst, which is paradise charcoal in the presence of quinoline and hydrogen gas. Zinc HCl is also a liquid medium, so this also will give us generally the trans, because from one side if one hydrogen is approaching, other side the other hydrogen will approach. So the correct answer for this is option C, which is H2 in the presence of paradise charcoal and then quinoline. Next we have another question that has come in NEET 2019. Among the following, the reaction that proceeds through an electrophilic substitution is. So they are giving us 4 reactions, A, B, C and D. We have to find out which of them will follow the electrophilic substitution. So broadly if you look at it, right, so electrophilic substitutions, where do we see electrophilic substitutions? In the aromatic compounds, isn't it? So we'll see the electrophilic substitution in the aromatic compounds, typically benzene and benzene derivatives. When the hydrogens are substituted, the benzene hydrogens or the benzene derivative hydrogens, they will be substituted to the electrophilic substitution mechanism. Correct. Now we'll just go through each of these options. First is what the alcohol is converting itself into the halogen derivative. So what is happening here? There is a nucleophilic substitution. So what is happening here is there is a nucleophilic substitution. Okay, so OH minus is being substituted by the Cl minus. Option B is the cleavage of the diazonium salt. So this is what N2Cl or N2Cl is what? This is the diazonium salt, and in the presence of Cu2Cl2 cuprous chloride, this diazonium salt will be undergoing cleavage to give the C6H5Cl. So this is also not an electrophilic substitution. If you look at option C, the benzene react with chlorine in the presence of anhydrous AlCl3. This is what our halogenation. So the benzene is going to get what? Substituted with a chlorine in place of hydrogen, and this follows. So AlCl3, when it is reacting with Cl2, it will be forming AlCl4 minus, because AlCl3 is having the Lewis acid nature, and Cl plus. The Cl plus is what is going to be substituting the hydrogen position of the benzene. So this is the one that is going to follow the electrophilic substitution mechanism. Next, if you look at option D, what is option D? Benzene reacting with chlorine in the presence of UV light. It is giving the addition product. So what is happening? The chlorines are getting added in place of the double bonds. So this is an addition. This is not a substitution. Okay. So the correct answer for this is option C. Next, we have a question that has come in the NEET 2019 Odisha paper. The alkane that gives only one monochloro product on chlorination with Cl2 in the presence of diffuse sunlight is. So here this is a very standard model of question. The alkanes, right, when we do halogenation, typically the chlorination in the presence of sunlight, we can see there will be a chance for multiple substitution, and this will be what? This will be a free radical, substitution mechanism. Okay, the substitution of alkane with chlorine. Here they are saying monochloro product, means if we are just substituting one hydrogen with one chlorine, that's it. Which of the alkanes will give only one monochloro product? So what is the meaning of this? Because if you look at, say for example, we'll just begin with simple stuff of say CH4. If you have CH4, right, we are doing monochlorination, means one hydrogen will be replaced by chlorine. We will get what? CH3Cl. So monochlorination of methane means we are going to get only one product. Similarly, monochlorination of ethane, one of the hydrogens, whether we take carbon 1 or carbon 2, one of the hydrogens will be replaced by chlorine. So which means we are going to get CH3, CH2, Cl. Okay. Now whether the hydrogen is replaced from carbon 1 or carbon 2. So if it is replaced from carbon 1 means what we are going to get? Look at it. CH2Cl, CH3. These two are not different. These two are the same product. If we just look at them, these two are what? Same product. It's just that we have to reverse and check it. So if you reverse it and see, right, we will see that these two are what? Same. So the monochlorination, we see two possibilities, right? Here what do we think? Okay, the hydrogen from carbon 1 can be replaced, or hydrogen from carbon 2 also can be replaced, but they are not giving us two different products. They are giving us only one product. Means the monochlorination of ethane, right, also gives only one product. Whereas if you look at the monochlorination of say for example propane, what is propane? CH3, CH2, CH3. If you do monochlorination, so once we look at couple of examples, then we will go to the problem. Okay, so monochlorination of, so let's just number the carbons as what? 1, 2, 3. So here we can think of replacing the hydrogen of carbon 1. What we are going to get? CH2Cl, CH2, CH3. Okay. If you think of replacing the hydrogen from carbon 2, what we are going to get? CH3, CH2Cl, CH3. If you think of replacing hydrogen from carbon 3, what we are going to get? CH3, CH2, CH2Cl. Now what I am trying to say is, look at this. Let's just number them 1, 2, 3, or no, okay. So we can just number them as 1, 2, 3. If you see, the 1 and 3 are not different substances. They are the same. We just have to reverse them and check. If you reverse and check it, right, 1 and 3 are what? Same. So Why is it happening? Because the carbon 1 position and carbon 3 position, right, they are nothing but symmetrical. Carbon 1 and carbon 3 are what? Symmetrical. So the basic idea is, if we have symmetric carbons, we can also call them as what? Identical carbons. If you have symmetric carbons, then the monochlorination, right, is not going to give us a different products here. It is going to give us the same product. In both the cases, we are going to get the same product. In some cases, right, we may have more than 2 symmetrical or identical carbons also. So these places are called as what? The symmetrical or the identical places. Now the thing is, we have to go through these given substances and find out which of them is going to be giving us just one monochlorination product. So if you got the idea, means then we will go to the question. So we have to look at each of these options. So here now, since they are saying which of the following is going to give us one monochlorination product, we must go through each of these options and check which of them will satisfy or which of them will not satisfy. Okay. So first is what? First they are saying is 2,2 dimethyl butane. So here, while in the recent years of NEET, right, we are not getting any nomenclature questions. If you see the nomenclature questions, right, they used to ask 5-10 years before, there used to be questions on the nomenclature. Nowadays we don't see any questions on nomenclature, but it is not like we are going to completely neglect the nomenclature, because when they give a name like this, right, if you are not able to write the structure of the compound, mean that's it, we cannot even solve this problem, forget about it, isn't it? So if they are saying 2,2 dimethyl butane, we are getting the structure wrong, then the entire problem also will be wrong. So first we must be able to correctly write what is the 2,2 dimethyl butane structure. So butane means what? We must have a 4 carbon. 2,2 means in the second position we must be having what? 2 methyl groups. So let us just know, this is the skeletal. What I have written first is the skeletal. So we'll just make it into the full structure. Okay. So this is here we'll have 2 hydrogens, here we'll have 3 hydrogens. This is the structure of 2,2 dimethyl butane. Now when we are going for the monochlorination of this, right, let us look at it. Okay. So for this carbon, methyl, 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 3 methyl are identical, isn't it? So I can call them as what? 1, 1, 1. All 3 places are what? Identical. Because I can replace the hydrogens of these carbons by chlorine. But now whether I do it from this carbon or this carbon or this carbon, I am going to get the same product. But this carbon, if I do it right, if I replace the hydrogen from this carbon, I am going to get a different product. If you replace the hydrogen from this carbon, we are going to get different product. So from this carbon we cannot replace hydrogens because it doesn't have any hydrogens. Means from here, right, let me just write down and show it to you. So how many compounds we can get? CH2Cl, CH3, CH3, CH2, CH3. This is one. And I am not doing it from this carbon and this carbon. Why? Because they are going to give me the same identical product. So whether the CH2Cl is here or here or here, it doesn't matter. Correct. Now what will be the others? Others will be like this: CH3, 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 CHCl, CH3. Okay, I replace from the carbon 2. Then we can even replace from the carbon 3. What we are going to get in that case? CH3, 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 CH2, CH2Cl. So we'll see, this is giving us how many monochlorination products? It is giving us 3 monochlorination products. I mean, here the task is not in finding how many monochlorination products will come. In fact, I think in some of the past years they have even asked this question also. Like they'll give a compound and ask how many different monochlorination products will come. So in that case, you are going to take this approach. Wherever we have identical carbons, right, the monochlorination is not going to give us a different product, it will end up giving the same product. So the identical carbon positions, we will not count them multiple times, we will only count them once. So here is option A meeting our requirement? No, because option A is giving us 3. We are looking for only one monochlorination product. Okay. Now second option is what? Neopentane. What is neopentane? This is neopentane. So neopentane is the most symmetrical pentane. So we'll have a central carbon and 4 methyl groups attached to it. Now if you just look at it, right, let's just number them. 1. This also will be all 4 methyl groups attached, right? They are all identical to the central carbon. If you see with respect to central carbon, right, all 4 methyl groups are what? Identical. So we can say they are what? Symmetrical. So if they are symmetrical means what? If they are identical or symmetrical, what does it mean? It means that we are, so whether we will replace the chlorine, whether we replace the hydrogen from this carbon, means we are getting this. If you replace hydrogen from this carbon, let me just write it and show it to you. So we'll have what? CH2Cl here, CH3, CH3 and CH3. So this one and this one, they are not different substances, because if you look at it, right, what is it? There is a central carbon, 4 groups are attached. One is a methyl group, other is a methyl, other is a methyl, other is CH2Cl. Here also there is central carbon. One is a methyl group, other is a methyl group, other is a methyl group, other is what? CH2Cl. If you see the molecules, right, they are the same molecule. Maybe the way we are drawing the structure, it is making us feel that okay, one is on the top and one is on the left side, but in a 3-dimensional space, how these will be arranged? We will see that there is central carbon atom, tetrahedrally 4 groups are attached. One is a methyl group, other is also methyl, third is also methyl, fourth one is what? CH2Cl. Means these two are not different monochlorination products, they are same. In fact, if you replace the hydrogen from this carbon, you are also going to get the same product, which means what? We got our answer. What is it? The neopentane is going to give us just one monochlorination product. In fact, when you are practicing questions on this halogenation of alkanes, right, always keep a view on finding of the number of monochlorination products, and maximum we can practice up to number of dichlorination, like replacement of 2 hydrogens with 2 chlorines. They can even ask questions on when it is undergoing substitution twice, what is the number of products that can be formed, or what is the number of different products that can be formed. Okay, so the answer for this is what? Neopentane. Now let us also look at the other options. C is what? N-pentane. N-pentane means CH3, CH2, 5 carbon chain, straight chain, correct. This is the N-pentane. Okay, so if you look at N-pentane, so now what I am going to do is I'll just mark the identical carbons. So look at this one, I'll just give them number 1. These two are identical. Okay, because if you see from here, this is the first carbon. If you see from that side, is the first carbon. I'll number them 2 and 2. These two are also identical. This is a different one, 3. So we are going to get how many products? We will be getting, in case of the N-pentane, we will get 3 different monochlorination products. If you want, you can just draw them and check also. We are going to get how many? 3 different monochlorination products. The last one is what? Isopentane. So isopentane is also going to give us isopentane, right? It also will give us different monochlorination products. How? If you look at the idea of an isopentane, right? So we'll have 4 carbons under link here. Okay, so methyl link. So this is the isopentane, CH3. Okay, and we'll have here 1 hydrogen. Here there will be 2 hydrogens, and here there will be 3 hydrogens. Okay, this is isopentane. Okay, and for isopentane, let's just number the carbons. 1 and 1. These two are identical. Okay, this is 2. Okay, this is 2, and this is 3, and this is 4. So we can check here. We are going to get how many different types of monochlorination products? We will get 4 different types of monochlorination products. So the correct answer for this is what? Option B, which is neopentane. Next we have a question that has come in the year NEET 2019 Odisha paper. In the following reaction, what is this? This is basically propine. Okay, so propine. Propine, when passed over red hot iron tube at 873 Kelvin, it is giving us a substance A. The number of sigma bonds present in the product A is. So what is this reaction? Alkynes, like we have in the NCERT itself, acetylene, which is what? CH triple bond CH, when it is passed over red hot iron tube, it is going to give us C6H6 benzene. So this is an example of aromatization. So what is this reaction example of? Aromatization. Okay, if you look at propine, what we are going to get on aromatization is this compound. So we will be having benzene with 3 methyl groups substituted symmetrically. Okay, so the aromatic ring will be having 6 carbons. The other three units of the propane will combine to give us the compound, which we can name it as what? It can be named as what? The benzene derivative, which is having the methyl groups at 1, 3 and 5 positions. Okay, so if you look at the number of sigma bonds, that's what you need to find. We need to find what number of sigma bonds. So how are we going to find the number of sigma bonds? The number of sigma bonds, right? How do we find out? So we'll have to just go through the structure clearly, and then only we can find what is the number of sigma bonds in this. So first thing in this is to know what is the product we are going to get. Then only we can even comment on what will be the number of sigma bonds we will have. Okay, so here if you see each of these carbon and hydrogens, right, they are having how many? 3 sigma bonds. Carbon and hydrogen, 3 sigma bonds are there. Totally what is it going to be? 9. Okay, 9 of these carbon, hydrogen on the methyl groups. Then the methyl groups are attached to the benzene carbons. 1, 2, 3. Another 3 sigma bonds will come. Okay, in the ring we have 6 bonds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 bonds are there. 3 of them will be single bonds, 3 of them will be double bonds. But double bond is what? Double bond also will have 1 sigma, and other than that 1 pi will be there. So totally in the ring we have 6 sigma bonds. And don't forget that the carbons, right, which are not having the methyl group, they are having hydrogens attached. We don't show them in the structure, but they are having what? Hydrogens attached, isn't it? Only the carbons having methyl groups attached, they will not have any hydrogens because the valence is already complete. But the other carbons will be having what? Hydrogens, which means what? There will be 3 more carbon hydrogen bonds, but these 3 carbon hydrogen bonds are formed by the carbons of the benzene ring. Okay, so means we can just look at the total count. This is what? 9 plus 3 12, 12 plus 6 18, 18 plus 3, which is going to be 21. So what is the correct answer for this? There is going to be 21 sigma bonds. Sometimes they can even ask what is the number of single bonds, like that. Then we have to be ready. Then in that case we are not going to be counting the double bonds part. But if they say sigma bond, means we have to keep in mind carefully that a pi bond is double bond is a combination of 1 sigma and then 1 pi. Triple bond means it's a combination of 1 sigma and then 2 pi bonds. Next we have a question that has come in the year NEET 2018. Hydrocarbon A reacts with bromine by substitution to form alkyl bromide, which by the Woods reaction. Woods reaction is what? Alkyl halides in the presence of sodium in dry ether, right? That's the Woods reaction. Is converted into a gaseous hydrocarbon containing less than 4 carbon atoms. What is A? So they are asking what is A. See, think about it. Here there are 2 steps. First is what? There is a hydrocarbon A that is undergoing what? That is undergoing the substitution to give us the alkyl bromide. Okay, so alkyl bromide in Woods reaction means what? Sodium in dry ether, it gives back alkane. Okay, it gives back alkane. Alkyl halides on reacting with the sodium in dry ether, they will be giving us what? Alkane. But if you look at the Woods reaction step, right, like say for example, if we have the alkyl bromide, right, if we have CH3Br, then 2 units of CH3Br will combine with sodium in dry ether to give us CH3CH3 plus 2NaBr. So the Woods reaction, right, will give us a product which will be having double the number of carbons as the alkyl bromide. We can even say it is going to be always having what? Even number of carbons. The product of the Woods reaction is going to be what? Even number of carbons. So this is the simplest alkyl bromide we can think about. If we think about next alkyl bromide will be what? CH3 CH2Br. This is the next possibility. This with sodium in dry ether, right, it is going to give us what? It is going to give us the hydrocarbon with double the number of carbons, means it is having how many carbons? 4 carbons. It will be having how many carbons? 4 carbons. So here this is the compound A is basically what? The alkane. Compound A is alkane. So Our task is to identify whether it is option C or option D. In fact, if you want to get the final alkane after the Woods reaction having less than 4 carbons, they are clearly saying less than 4 carbons. It can't even be this. If you go to the next, which is propyl bromide, okay, then we are going to be getting an hydrocarbons with 6 atoms, the final product. So that will be definitely not less than 4. So as you go higher, right, the number of carbons in the final product after the Woods reaction is going to be double that of the carbons present in the original alkyl bromide. Means the only case where we are going to have the final product of the Woods reaction having carbons less than 4 is when we are doing the Woods reaction with methyl bromide. So to do the Woods reaction with methyl bromide, we must have obtained the methyl bromide by the bromine substitution with methane. We must have obtained the methyl bromide by the bromine substitution with methane. Okay, so what is the possibility here? We have methane, which is our compound A. On bromination, we will get methyl bromide, and sodium in triether, that's what is the Woods reaction. We will get an hydrocarbon which is double the number of carbons. Means we will have a hydrocarbon which is having 2 carbons. That is the only possibility where we can have less than 4 carbon atoms. So what is the correct answer for this? It is option D. So on Woods reaction, in couple of past year other papers also we have got questions on, they will give us the final Woods reaction product and they will ask us what is the original alkane, like that. So always in the Woods reaction step, what is going to happen? The 2 alkyl bromide entities, they will merge into 1 alkane. So we will have even number carbon alkane in the product. Next we have a question on the acidity, comparison of acidity or acid nature. This is the question that has come in the year 2017. Which one is the correct order of acidity? Means we have to talk about the acidic nature strength. So let's look at what are these substances they are talking about. They are talking about ethine or acetylene. They are talking about propine. So this is what ethine, this is propine, and then they are talking about ethene. This is ethene, okay, so ethene, and then they are talking about ethane. So what are the things we have? Ethine, propine, ethene, ethane. Now here when you want to compare them, right, there is a different way of comparing. So generally if you want to compare an alkane, alkene and alkyne in terms of the acidic nature, as the hybridization of carbon in alkyne is sp. What is the hybridization of carbon in alkyne? Like here what is it? Sp hybridization. Here it is what? Ethene, it is sp2. Ethane, sp3. The sp carbons will be more electronegative than sp2 than sp3. So if you look at the comparison between the ethine, if you look at the comparison between the ethine, ethene and ethane, here we see the carbons will be what? Sp carbons. Ethene case sp2 carbons, ethane case sp3 carbons. So sp hybridized carbon, right, will be more electronegative than sp2 than sp3. Okay, this is because an sp, right, will have 50% s characteristics. S orbitals are more close to the nucleus. So means that particular orbital will be held more strongly by the nucleus. It will come under greater influence of the carbon nucleus. So that's the reason why an sp orbital, right, will have more electronegative nature than sp2 than sp3, because when you go to sp2, the s characteristics will be reduced to almost 33%. If you go to sp3 means they will be reduced to 25%. So more the s characteristics of the hybrid orbitals, more will be the electronegativity of the particular orbital. Okay, now which means what? The result of this will be that ethine can release proton very easily than ethane or ethene. Okay, and that we can see even in a reaction of ethine. Ethine reacts with sodium to form the compound where the hydrogen will be replaced by the sodium, just like the acids do. Okay, so this is the comparison in terms of the ethine, ethene and ethane. Now comes the comparison between ethine and propine. These two are alkynes, but if you look at it, right, the alkynes acidic nature will be decreasing as we attach more plus I groups. So to the alkyne triple bond, right? If you attach plus I groups, then what is going to happen? The acidity will be decreasing. In fact, if you look at the further step, right? If you have say 1 butane, that will be even lesser acidic nature, because here we have the plus I effect coming from the ethyl group. Here the plus I is only coming from the methyl group. So as we increase the carbon chain length, means the acidic nature of the alkynes is going to decrease. This is the point also we can remember. So for the alkynes, right, among the alkynes, which is the most acidic in terms of nature? Ethine. Okay, so what will be the order here? Generally alkynes are more electronegative than alkenes or alkanes, but among the alkynes, right, as we attach plus I groups, means the acidic nature is going to be decreasing. Okay, so what is the correct answer for this? It will be the option A. We can see ethine will be the strongest, then comes propine, then the ethene and ethane. So always in terms of comparison, the alkynes will have the higher acidic nature, but among the alkynes, right, the trend will be, if you attach a plus I groups to alkyne, means the acidic nature is going to decrease. Generally, longer chain alkynes means what? The plus I group effect of that, the R part will be more, and hence, the acidic nature will be lesser. Next, we have a question that has come in the year NEET 2017. Predict the correct intermediate and the product in the following reaction. So what is it? We have propine reacting with HgSO4, H2SO4 in the presence of water. So they are asking what is the intermediate and what will be the product. So here if you look at this, right, this is the addition of water. What is it? To the alkyne we are adding water, and when water is added to the alkyne, will follow the same Markovnikov addition rule, which means what? If you see, we have to add a hydrogen and OH group. Hydrogen goes to the carbon that is already having more hydrogens, means it will go here, and OH group will go to the other carbon. See, we can see the product will be what? This one. Okay, this is enol. What is this? Enol. So there is a double bond and there is an alcohol group. So enol will undergo tautomerization. Enol will be able to undergo what? Tautomerization. And here tautomerization is not like isomerism. It is a phenomena in which the compounds will interchange, and the final composition, right, will be containing more amount of the stable product. So this is the enol, and what is the corresponding ketone? That's why we call it as what? This phenomenon is called as what? Keto-enol tautomerism. The phenomenon is called as what? Keto-enol tautomerism. Okay, so the enol will convert itself. So how do you convert enol into the ketone? The double bond will shift here and the hydrogen will come to this carbon. So as a result, what we are going to have is propanone. Propanone is the corresponding ketone of this particular enol. So the stability of the product will depend upon various other factors, but the final composition, right, will be tilted more towards the two forms. We'll have a enol form and we'll have a keto form. So whichever is more stable, right, that is going to be having a major proportion. So if you look at it, right, what will be the first compound to be formed is what? It will be the enol, and we'll see that this will get tautomerized to form the respective ketone. So the correct answer for this is option C. Next, we have another question that has come in the NEET 2017. With respect to the conformers of ethane, which of the following statements is true? So conformers means what? The conformation isomers. They are asking which of the following statements is true. So ethane, if you look at it, right, so we'll have the carbons, each of them attached to 3 hydrogens. Now we need to identify which of them is a true statement about the conformation isomers of ethane. Okay, so what are the statements? Let us just read out the statements, then we will try to look at the analysis. Okay, so what are the statements? Statement 1 is saying bond angle changes but the bond length remains same. Option B is saying what? Both bond angle and the bond length change. Option C is saying both bond angle and bond length remain same. Option D is saying bond angles remain same but the bond length changes. So what do you mean by the bond angles or bond length that they are talking about? See, bond angle and bond length should be pertaining to one particular site. Like say for example, whenever we talk about the bond angle, right, here we have a carbon. The carbon is sp3 carbon, right? So we'll see that on one side we have hydrogen, other side we have hydrogen, other side hydrogen, the fourth side is what? Carbon. These will be arranged in the tetrahedral manner. These will be arranged in the tetrahedral manner. Similarly for this carbon also, three sides it is having hydrogens and one side it is having carbon. And bond length means what? The distance between the respective bonds, carbon hydrogen bond or carbon carbon bond. If you look at what is the difference between the conformational isomers, the conformational isomers is not about the bond angles or the bond lengths of the original compound being different. What are these? If you look at, for example, here we are looking at the conformational isomers of butane. Okay, the same rule will be applicable for the ethane also. So if you see the conformational isomers, right, it is about, so we can see the methyl groups. There are two carbons which we are not showing here. For each of the carbons there is a methyl group, and for each of the so this is how we are looking at it. For each of the carbons there is a methyl group and two hydrogens. Okay, for each of the carbons there is a methyl group and two hydrogens. We are looking at the conformation isomers of butane. Okay, now when you see, these are the two carbons which you are viewing. Okay, so the fully eclipsed form, where a methyl group of this will exactly coincide with the methyl group of the other, okay, will have a dihedral angle. So here we talk about the dihedral angle. It is not the bond angle. So what is dihedral angle? The angle that measures between the methyl groups orientation. Then we have staggered, and we have eclipsed, partially eclipsed, where methyl will coincide with the hydrogen. Then we have anti. Anti means what? The methyl position of one and the methyl position of other carbon, right, will be exactly in opposite orientation. So this will reduce the conformation isomers. The difference will be in terms of the dihedral angle, how the groups are oriented. But bond angle means we will measure how this particular carbon groups are arranged with respect to each other. So that will be same tetrahedral arrangement only. That is not going to change. That arrangement is not going to be changing. So the conformation isomers, right, the only difference will be in terms of the dihedral angle. That will result in the bond strain, etc. But it is not going to be affecting the bond angles or the bond lengths. So the conformation isomers of whether it is the ethane or butane, what do we see? The bond angle and bond length will be remaining the same. Next we have a question that has come in the NEET paper 2 of 2016. Which of the following can be used as the halide component of Friedel-Crafts reaction? So which of them can be used as the halide component? So Friedel-Crafts reaction, what is it? We have a halide component that will be reacting with the anhydrous AlCl3, and that will be starting the reaction. So what are these given to us? Chlorobenzene, bromobenzene, chloroethene and isopropyl chloride. So if you look at the chlorobenzene or bromobenzene or chloroethene, all of them, right, they will not be suitable for being the halide component. Why? Because in all these, right, look at chlorobenzene. What is chlorobenzene? So we'll have a benzene. Okay, so we'll have a benzene, and to this chlorine is attached. Due to the resonance stabilization, right, this carbon chlorine bond will get partial double bond characteristics. Okay, and as a result of it, what we will be seeing is that the release of the chlorine will not be that much easy. So in case of normal alkyl halide, right, the carbon halogen bond will be a single bond. The carbon halogen bond will be what? Single bond. So we can easily remove it. Whereas in case of these, in fact, even for the chloroethene, what is chloroethene? CH2 double bond CHCl. So here also we can think about the orientation of, because the chlorine will be having what? Lone pair of electrons that can be donated. So we can think about resonance structures, how we can give the pi electrons to this carbon and form a double bond. So what we are going to add, we'll have CH2 minus, okay, CH double bond Cl plus. So we can think about resonance structures where the carbon chlorine bond gets what? Partial double bond characteristics. Okay, and this is possible because of the chlorine having the lone pair of electrons that can be donated to form the pi bond. And the only possibility where this is not going to happen is the isopropyl chloride. So isopropyl chloride, right, it can be used as the halide component of the Friedel-Crafts reaction. Like say if you have benzene, isopropyl chloride in the presence of anhydrous AlCl3, we will be able to get what? We will be able to get the cumene. Okay, so this is possible only when we have the carbon chlorine bond that can be easily broken, or carbon halogen bond that can be easily broken. Okay, so if it is having a partial double bond characteristics etc. because of resonance, then it is difficult to break that bond itself, and hence the reaction would not proceed significantly. In fact, that is the reason why the aryl halides, right, they will be less reactive. Aryl halides are less reactive. Why? Because the normal alkyl halides, they will show reactivity for the nucleophilic substitution reactions etc. Aryl halides, because of the partial double bond characteristics of the carbon chlorine bond, their reactivity will be generally less than the alkyl halides. So the correct answer for this is option D. This is about the part 1 video, and we will see in the part 2.